It's a sun with my own homemade filter on it. Learned how to make a filter off YouTube from a guy that was using the film out of a floppy disk to actually make a filter for your camera. I made it a little bit different because I actually pulled out my UV lens, pulled the lens out, put this in with the lens, and then put the clip back in on it, just to see what I would get, the results. And this may be what I use to film the eclipse with. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to protect my camera or not. It should be. It looks pretty interesting the way that it is right now. But this isn't what we get from NASA. You know, even if I get up close to an edge here, and I'm gonna zoom in fully to that edge. You know, is that what we get from NASA? I don't know. I have to look at it in the computer and really see what it shows. Plus, you know, I didn't mess around with my settings to cut the light so much as I did just with the compensation exposure. But there's another lens I'd like to put on here too, and that's a polarizer. I forget the exact name, but I'm going to go get it. It's a multi coated it's a multi-coated. Oh, getting some clouds going in front of the sun too right now, which is pretty cool. It's a multi-coated polarizer. It wasn't cheap. It's quite expensive, so I'm going to add this on while this is running and see what we get. I mean, see if it puts it, makes a difference. If it'll fit over this other one, it should. It should. I'm not going to put them on tight because sometimes that really messes with it, but it's supposed to take a lot of the reflection out, like where you get a double reflection of the sun. Actually, it looked pretty cool when I was off to the side. You could actually see the clouds better going in front of the sun. And I'd also like to do a zoom in shot with, you know, multi-layered on there. Let's just let it rise up right here while these clouds are going over it. So it's not only got a UV lens on it, but it's got this homemade polymer, I guess you could call it, added with the UV lens. And then I have the multi-coated polarizer lens on top of that. And I even have a regular, little weaker polarizer too that I can even stick on top of this. As soon as I let it rise up here a little bit, I'll try it another way. I'd like to do this too out over on open water and see what it looks like, you know, on a sunset or a sun retreat is what I like to call them. And again, if it works out okay or pretty good, I'll try to show people how I made this lens. And I don't know if it'll help you out for the solar eclipse because I'm kind of doing this kind of late in the show, I guess you could say. Oh, got hit heavy with some heavy clouds now. Shoot, I was hoping to zoom in before that big cloud went over. Well, let's see how long it takes. I'm going to zoom back here. Let's see how long it takes before. See if you can even see anything if I zoom it all the way back. No, it kind of leaves the screen pretty dark. I guess that sun has to be poking through to actually be able to see it. So let's pray on the eclipse day that we don't get a lot of clouds, because that would really ruin it for us. I think it would ruin it for everybody. Well, I mean, mainly for people that would have clouds in their area. Because everywhere you go, you know, you get, I mean, this is why, you know, some people say, oh, there's clouds behind the moon and sun. But, you know, if you were in a different location, you might see something totally different. Back on again, and give myself another 15 minutes here to see what happens when this sun comes back out. And then we'll zoom back in on it, because I pulled back on the zoom. Actually, looking up there at these clouds with my polarized sunglasses on, it looks pretty cool. All kinds of colors. And, damn it, if the sun ain't or these clouds aren't kind of moving differently than what I was expecting them to. But there we go. You can start seeing it again through the clouds. Let's zoom back in on it. I don't know. I didn't really focus the camera for the deep zoom. When it comes back out, all right, I'm gonna shut it off, zoom in on it, and well, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Interesting. A bird flies by, throws a shadow over everything here. Actually, myself, I think it's pretty cool. Alright, well actually, let me shut it off. I'm going to take the one filter off and just put the multi-coated polarizer on. Let's shut it off though first. Let's look at them sunspots there. Let me zoom in on them. And those are pretty interesting. Skies are pretty clear right now, so we don't have any major clouds that are going to go in front of it. But this is my testing of my filter I'm going to use for the solar eclipse. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to just set it down here at the bottom and let it rise up here. See what happens. Now, out of curiosity too. Yeah, Flat Max from UK. He had some very nice, clear video and pictures of his little homemade filter. So check out his channel. You'll see some nice stuff. I may try something different here. I may try taking off the UV lens and just putting the film in. the UV lens um, screw-on cap. Um, but I'll test that at a later date, or later today. But also, if you'd noticed that when I put the polarizer on there, that it did distort the sunspots in the earlier part of the video. It elongated them, and that's the problem sometimes with polarizers. It does distort some things. And same way with the UV lens, and that might be why I didn't get as clear of a of those sunspots as I would have liked to have gotten. Um, so give Flat Max a channel, his channel a check out, and definitely give him a thumbs up because he's got some good stuff that he just put out. I liked it, and I look forward to his what he catches on the solar eclipse. Now here in Florida, I'm not going to get a full solar eclipse. We're going to get a partial. I was going to drive up to South Carolina, but as far as I understand, the roads are just going to be absolutely terrible. Another thing that you'll notice is you'll get some things that fly by the sun. You know, you don't know what they are. They could be a bug, it could be a bird, it could be almost anything. So, I'm not going to speculate on what's flying in front of my screen because I do see birds and bugs fly by right in front of the camera. So, again, I'm not going to speculate that there's some kind of UFO, alien spacecraft or anything flying at, fast rate speeds, because a bug flying real close to my camera will look like it's flying by at, breakneck speeds. So again, let's not jump to conclusions on some things, but, let's be level-headed about what we see. All right, I'm gonna let this play out here a little bit more and show you the, looking a little bit different. I know this is going to be another long little video, but I thought it was pretty neat to show it and let people maybe think about making their own filter. Now what I did was I bought some old floppy disks on YouTube, or not YouTube, but off of eBay, and you open them up and you cut them out, and I cut circles out of it to fit my UV lens. I also cut some out to fit over a old pair of welding glasses I got, so I can put them on my own head so I'm not frying my own eyes. They look just as good as the glasses that you buy, that you bought at the store for looking at the solar eclipse. It actually, to me, it looks even better. But I'm going to zoom out or zoom back and show you that this little raise here is caused from the UV lens. And I'll spin it and show you how it looks, but it's totally different. I'll let you as the viewer make your own mind up on what you see. But again, these things flying in front of the screen are nothing but probably birds, bugs, dust, or what have you. So again, let's not jump to conclusions on what they might be. Oh, it's still in there. Okay. And it does kind of show you how small the sun actually is. You know, from my perspective anyhow. We'll zoom in on it, of course, it will get larger. You see, that's me just turning the lens. And I think that's because of the UV lens that's in there with it. But as I zoom all the way in on it, that kind of disappears. Well, I better change the batteries on this damn remote thing I got before this eclipse occurs. Really excited about it, and I hope we have really good clear skies. I only got a few more minutes left here, so I'm going to zoom in on those sunspots here. In this one particular video anyhow. Hopefully they rise up in the next minute here. I would shift it over, but I don't want to touch it. Just leave it just like it is. You got 38 seconds left, 36. Of this particular video. Another thing too, I hope it ain't windy the day of the eclipse.